exactly as you interlock the two.
Now stretch them right as...
Soccer. And the...
Quiet, please. In exactly 15 seconds, we'll be on the air.
I felt like a reptile. Like a reptile. I felt like a reptile.
That's on a Friday night, you know, when I go to bed Saturday morning. I scrape it all up. I'm like, oh my God. The dogs are baked, looking at me like, what have I been eating? What's this cabbage?
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, dude.
Just trying to see if I can hear anything through my Yoda hat.
We need to get you a green hoodie, don't we?
Yeah.
With a backpack on.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yoda looks fully like he's falling out of that, though.
Doesn't he? He's spitting on the back of the Space Marine's head.
Yeah, well, what else would he do?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Full Reptile Radio. Christmas edition.
Christmas edition. Ding dong.
You love Christmas?
Mate, I do love Christmas. Because I can eat all the chips and all the ham.
Is that what you do?
Yep.
So you've got Christmas traditions, haven't you? Does this look like they're on my ears?
A little bit. They're a bit high, but so are you.
So, go on.
Traditions?
Yeah.
Well, my main tradition, my favourite tradition, because Christmas to me is a lot like a weekend.
Right.
So every weekend I look forward to Friday and Saturday. Friday because I play PlayStation. Obviously because I spend time with my family. But I get to play PlayStation with my mates and get like just completely wind down.
Yeah.
You look forward to Saturday, like 1-0. Can't wait, excited because you're going to do something cool and you don't have to get up in the morning. Wicked.
No school.
But Sunday's always a motherfucker.
Because you know Monday's coming.
Exactly. And Monday is the friend of no one. So, apart from, I've not had many bad Mondays since I've been doing this job, but it's still built in because I'm 40 and I'm old and I'm a creature of habit.
Conditioning, isn't it? Yeah. It's like 3:30. I see 3:30 and I'm just like, oh, end of school.
Yeah. Mate, still.
I've been to school for fucking 40 years.
Mate,
whatever it is.
I hated Thursdays from when I was 16 to when I was about 36 because I used to deliver the traders and I knew when I got in, bear in mind, I used to deliver them from being like 12 to being 16, 17.
The traders, the free newspaper.
Free newspaper.
Auto Trader.
And no, just Trader. So it was all dog shit no one wanted to read. And it was, you had to put your own leaflets in. But if you got paid, I used to do Broadway in Duffield. That if you Google it, it's a really long road. Duffield's really affluent. So they were all massive houses with all these Ponzi schmonz motherfuckers that lived there. But they used to give you the block of paper. So if there was 200 papers, you'd get however much a paper. But then you had to put your leaflets in as well. So if you got a sample of like, I don't know, Canderel and 5 leaflets.
Oh, that's that artificial sweetener.
Yeah, or it could be a packet of Polos or when
you must have rubbed some stuff off the front.
All of it. Don't think my mum put any of them Canderels anywhere other than in a massive old Quality Street jar. Do you want some Canderels up, mate?
Handful.
Yeah. Just hold your T-shirt up. But the thing was, because obviously I grew up in Duffield, and they were all very hoity-toity. I mean, my mum and dad bought there before I was born. So I think they paid $8,000 for mum's house that's now worth triple figures.
It's mad, isn't it, when you think back? Like, I remember my grandparents when they moved into their house in 1957 or whatever it was, and they paid like £2,000. Yeah, it was like £2,300.
Yeah, my granddad had the option to buy a row of houses next to his house in Holbrook that sold for, I think it was 400,000. He had the chance to buy them all for like 600 quid,
and he didn't.
And he said no because he was making a point. It's like, all right, stubborn
making
granddad.
a point.
Yeah, nice one. Fuck me.
Making a point to fucking hate himself in the future.
Yeah, for real. But
if you could time cop, and you could go anywhere in the world, where would you buy property?
Anywhere I would just invest in Google, in Facebook. I'd literally do
would you buy a Bitcoin?
Hot Tub Time Machine 2. I'd buy 10.
10
and
Bitcoins?
I'd chuck them away.
Do 10 exist?
Yeah. I'd buy all the Bitcoins.
You want to get yourself a NUFT. That's the new thing, isn't it? NUFT.
I'm worried though because I don't know how it works or what it means.
It's a thing that doesn't exist.
Yes.
It's a thing that's not at all tangible.
No.
It doesn't exist.
And it scares me because it goes up and down quick.
Do you see the one that someone fucked up little bit of a typo.
Yeah, like
they sold some for, they sold some for, was it
20 grand instead of 250 grand? What are you doing? But when I worked in a place where you had like staff members or a team, you kind of learn vicariously through other people and you pick up other random bits. Well, I used to teach people about MMA, or force UFC onto them. If you sat next to me, you were going to be into it by the end of it. There's a lot of people that can they can all agree that
Watch
happened.
that.
Yeah,
Watch that.
There's
sliding
UFC
a disc
80.
across the desk.
Mate,
Watch that. Is it safe for work? Kinda.
Kind of, yeah.
Depends what work it is.
Not a lot of people like it.
No.
But because I'm not learning that stuff now, I feel a bit out of the loop. But the weird thing was, because of where I grew up, I was delivering the scumbag paper. I wasn't delivering the leaflets. I was blocking up a drain somewhere because I used to just put them in the drain because I didn't want to fucking deliver them. And one woman, I can't remember if I told you this before, but I was on my BMX, shot into her drive, ran out and got the paper out, and she said, oh, Steve, stop. Whatever name she called me, it might not have been Steve. Stop, and passed me a Mars bar. And I was like, oh, wow, thank you very much. But just to let you know, my name's not Steve. And she went, oh, what paper is this? I said, it's the Trader. And she just scoffed.
That Mars bar's not for you.
Fuming, took it off me and went back in.
Yeah.
And I was like,
she was waiting for the Daily Star to be delivered.
Yeah, or fucking Sunday Sport.
There you go.
Yeah,
Sunday Sport.
So we egged her house. Don't cross me, motherfucker. I'm not into that. So yeah, I don't know why we got onto paper rounds.
We got onto days that we don't look forward to.
That's it, Thursdays. Thank you for remembering.
Thursdays.
Yoda, you are all powerful. But our routine now, because like I say, Christmas is like a weekend, these tangents are twisting my brain. I've obviously not done this for a little while.
Go, mate.
So
practice. Because
Christmas is like a weekend, all the excitement, all the energy is Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is by far the finest day. Just because if you've got the little kids, the magic is, you just cannot measure that. It's gold. And then even like if your kids get up at 6 a.m, by 7 a.m. and you're on your fourth cup of tea and trying to work out how to get rid of this wrapping paper and have I thrown off as someone else's presents away.
You've got 3 dogs. Dogs love eating wrapping paper.
They do, but they fight.
You get sparkly shit all over the garden.
We've got sparkly shits, but what happens is, because we've got the 2 poos that don't like each other, cockapoos, and we've got Ben, who is the old, like...
They don't like each other, do
No, they can't stand each other, because they both want all the attention. They're a really selfish dog.
They are.
But they're beautiful.
He is like that.
Yeah.
She's a multi-poo.
But they're not into sharing. And even if like you take home 3 toys, one will pick up all 3 and lie on them. He's not playing with them, not doing anything. He just wants all of them.
Dickhead.
Yeah, they're both dickheads, but I can't help but love them. So when Stacey's trying to get like a Kellogg's family photo of like, oh, look what happened Christmas morning, I've normally got 2 scruffs of necks of like dogs kicking off at each other with Ben trying to lick me and his breath is 10, so he stinks. And then the kids are trying to open their shit and they're all telling you, Dad, look. It's like, well, I know what's in there. Magic. So that's all kicking off. So by 7, half 7, I'm not saying you're winding down, but you're already at Saturday afternoon in a normal weekend, because it's just that moochy period. Like you're going through your stuff, you can have a look at presents and whatnot and you get to eat a load. So what we do, we have ham and chips.
But so that's starting on Christmas Eve, though,
Christmas
right?
Eve.
Okay, so is that when the food tradition starts?
Well,
are you on the mince pies already?
I don't eat mince pies.
Do you not?
No.
We've got. Oh, Jamie, that's why I looked over at him straight away, because he's a fucking mince pie freak.
Are you fully into him?
He's a mince pie freak.
Never.
He loves them.
I like Christmas pudding.
Box a day.
Well, you go for a box.
Box a day. Don't lie.
What's your favourite?
Don't lie.
If you were sponsored by a mince pie company, have you gone full like fancy schmance, or are you gone for Aldi?
Yeah, like the Tesco's finest ones.
Tesco's finest.
All right.
You have to shop around a bit to get the best one.
Do you warm them
You have
up?
to
Do you
shop
stick them? Do you
around
ping
a
them in the microwave 20 seconds?
There's not time for that. He doesn't even unwrap them. The fucking wrapper
Just the
goes in
tin.
and everything.
Sometimes with a bit of cream on.
Oh, really?
Bit of cream.
A bit of cream on it.
Bit of cream. What, in a bowl?
You know when you say sometimes it's warm with a bit of cream on, is that on a Sunday afternoon when your mum comes in and goes, anyone fancy mince pie?
Yeah.
she's gonna do
you're
it.
not doing that.
Yeah.
That's a mum preparation,
Yeah.
that is.
My stepmom, like when we sit there, we'll sit after we've had Sunday dinner, and it's like, no one wants pudding yet, do they? And you're like, can't move.
Bayonetta?
Yeah, a thin slither a Viennetta,
course.
or maybe a treacle sponge out of a tin.
You know, my grandparents were talking about Viennettas the other day. So they get these small ones, I guess, and they cut it in half, and they have half each. Right, Barbara and Ian, my grandparents.
That's royalty,
right? But my granddad counts along the ridges, and then they get into a fucking disagreement if there's an odd number of ridges as to who has the additional ridge.
I thought that
I
was
just think
standard.
they love arguing at this point. Well, it's like sport for them.
It's
you know
built
what I mean?
in, and the thing is, when you come
because they don't like
conditioned,
go out shopping on Saturday mornings anymore. They stay home and argue, and it's a similar energy exchange.
Yeah, exactly, and you win as much as you would if you were shopping. It's like me and my sister. My sister's 42, I'm 40, and we fought like cat and dogs.
You're not 40. Not with that hat on.
I don't look it, do I? I look like a retired skateboarder with bad ankles. You know what I mean? I'd fit into Faber's crew quite quickly, but. Because we fucking hated each other. Like, we've always had each other's back. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I can remember she nailed someone. I went up to senior school. She was year 9, so obviously, like big time. I was year 7. Someone was starting on me, and she just came over and just leathered him.
Yeah,
just like leave him alone. Like, thanks, mate. So it's one of the nice things she did.
And you've never been able to pay her back.
No, ever.
Never.
But if I got glasses out of the cupboard, it doesn't matter the volume of which the liquid I'm pouring in. She's not in the little glass. So we used to do this thing where I'd give her the bigger glass, but then I'd pick hers up and lick the glass and put it back down. I'm like, there you go. And she's like, and she'd Mummy! Scream, run off, 26. Or like, if she had, I don't know, a burger, like you'd pick up and just lick the bottom and be like, enjoy that. Because you know you'd get it. This is why I eat more than
right,
that.
I see.
So, but same as Nana, Barb and Ian, it's just that natural built-in fight.
Yeah.
It's always been a fight, and it always will be.
Yeah.
We just always argue with each other.
It's how they show how much they love each other now.
I think that's it. You know? Yeah, that's it.
So what Christmas traditions have you got that you've held on to since you were a kid? Anything that you used to do when you were a kid that you now make sure you do for the girls? Quite
a bit of it's changed. Like, I've made sure that my kids don't have to go to 2 different houses because we're divorced. So that was a tradition that I used to have as a kid, didn't particularly like.
That's a good tradition to break, that one.
Yeah, so have your Christmas at your mum's and then Boxing Day at your dad's.
Yeah.
We stopped that for a while.
Or do they come down the shed and see you Christmas Day afternoon?
If they can't find me, then I'm in the fucking shed.
They bring you all the wrapping paper that there's no space for in the house.
Literally last year, Stace bought me the new Stores and Bickle Mighty Vape.
Yeah.
And the raptors were trapped in America. So all you could see at the bottom of the garden was this big barrel just burning stuff, and me just stood there with my brand new vape talking to these two on FaceTime. Vegas. You all right? It's like, good. I'm missing you too. It's like, that probably means good. See ya. So yeah, that was my tradition. But there's all this stuff like Elf on the Shelf. So Elf on the Shelf's big.
When we were young.
No, I mean, we got one calendar. And it was always shit chocolate. Like Cadbury's
I love
didn't.
that shit chocolate though.
Only for a calendar, you wouldn't have a full bar of it, would you?
I don't know.
I wouldn't.
I would probably if it was in December.
I reckon
I have a soft spot for shit chocolate in December. By the time Easter comes around, I want something that's Cadbury's. I'm not fucking about the cheap chocolate then.
But I think
the Advent calendar chocolate's supposed to taste like plastic.
But if you do a piss test after that,
oh yeah, no,
I don't know what you'd fire up for. COVID-27, some shit. But we'd only have one calendar. And again, same fight with my sister. You'd open her doors backwards, thinking you're being clever, but she's opening yours. Do you know what I mean? And then we'd both bullied my little brother into eating his. But now my kids they've got calendars that are like this thick. And when you open it up, there's like a full train set in there. And there's something else. And then they get Christmas Eve boxes. So like the elves go back on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And they leave a box. And it's nice because, I mean, Stace, to be fair to her, is Mrs. Claus. Literally above and beyond, everything is Christmas.
So she's got the elves in shape then. They're fucking...
Mate,
they're working overtime.
Don't think she doesn't cuss about them every fucking night, which all parents do. You know you fucking do. But she's got this point where then the elves leave and there's a box. So there's pyjamas in there, new bedding. You can't beat new bedding, especially for Christmas Eve. At least it gets them to sleep. Some like knockout tablets. But just all like, there used to be DVDs in there, so Home Alone or whatever, something Christmassy. So we never got that. And it's like Libby started playing me a little bit because I don't know if we need to do a spoiler alert. I don't think any kids listen to this. But Moo came downstairs last year when she was 12 and kind of just flexed at us, waited till Libby went upstairs and was like, I know you know. And we're like, what's that? She went, I know. Don't think I don't know because I know. And we're like, what are you talking about? And we've always tried to play it off because I know the minute I let myself realise it was real, it ruined it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just the fact of some of the magic. It was more the case that now my mum was like, just wrap them. Just go up to Auntie Joyce's and take them for her. And it's like, why am I doing all this? Well, I used to have to do it on my own, incognito, but now you're an adult. And it's like, fuck off. So when she started flexing, my heart sank a little bit because I don't consider the fact that I've got a 13-year-old. I still think I've got babies. So I was like, okay. So after she flexed one more time, we said, why do you think you know? And she went, well, for a start, my English teacher told me.
Oh,
which
hang on a minute.
Angered me to the point where I'm like, that's not your child, and that's not something you do to anyone, so fuck you. But we haven't had a parents' evening since that I can get angry enough to be able to warrant a visit to the school. So
you can't be angry sitting on them little chairs.
No,
can you?
Exactly. Do you know fucking what? Especially when they're bigger as well, with a big coffee mug.
Of course.
So when she said it...
And you're wearing your school uniform, but that's by choice.
Yeah, Angus Younged it. Just goose stepping across. And when she said it, I knew that this is a horrible moment because she was acting Charlie Big Potatoes the whole time. Like, don't try and lie to me anymore. The minute Stace validated what she was thinking, I'm trying to edit myself a bit because I am conscious. She burst into tears and broke down, and it was heartbreaking to see. But because Libby's now,
you're editing yourself in case somebody watching doesn't know.
Yeah. Which I'm pretty sure
That's
it's
very,
not.
very kind of you.
Well, I'm just conscious because if someone's in the car, because I know that my swearing is bad, but I know a lot of people can justify that because they need to get through the day. And sometimes listening to us talk about curly whirlies and dog shit is interesting. So at the minute, Libby's 9 and she's more excited than ever, but she's hustling us as well because she turned around the other day and she said, Mia's elves, when they come, they leave her presents. And I was like, right. And she's like, yeah, mine didn't. They were just naughty, weren't they? I was like, well, you got to be better then. And she's like, all right.
Flip it on her. Good stuff.
Too fucking right.
Cole, I've got to fucking deal with it.
I've got to outthink a 9-year-old. It's hard. So she's like, all right, okay.
Especially with how good she is at Call of Duty.
She's taken over my life. She's currently better at me than at most things. When she's coming here to record and chatting shit and rolling joints, then we'll be good. But she sits in bed. And, I wonder what the elves will do tonight. And you're like, I think you fucking know. But
I think she's onto you.
She definitely is. Because then...
She's like, I've got probably another 3 years before they think
I'm just going to play this out till I'm 26. But she then said... Another kid, when she gets in from school, the elves have done something. And I just feel like getting all the parents together and just giving them a...
Like a collective agreement.
Yeah, I'm not even going to say anything.
The
I'm
elf
just
pact.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
What are you fucking doing, man?
Yeah.
Play the game. But it is cool because it makes it all fun. But because our house is... like we've had decorations up since November the 5th. It's been Christmas since November 5th.
Remember. It's time to put the Christmas decorations
Remember.
up.
Fuck Guy Fawkes. We're all about Santa Claus.
He's still smouldering.
Mate,
and you're already fucking hanging baubles.
What's this? It's a new tree.
Just give me a week or
for me.
something.
Yeah, I used to fight it. I used to fight because Stacey used to be like, do you think we should put the tree up? And I was like, no. Because the problem was, it wasn't the fact I didn't want it up. I knew I had to get in the loft. And I was the one who had to get all the shit out.
Yeah.
And then once it's done, there's a stack of boxes to say, they need going back. And the stubborn part of me thinks, no, fuck you can do it. Which I know their way of putting it back is, same as in my shed. That's why I had to draw around everything. So I fucked myself because I then know I have to take it back up. And yeah, it's all in the eaves because Moo's in the loft bedroom. So if you imagine that's the wall and the roof's coming down like this, as much as I am a small person, the fucking joists and the cross members, when you crack yourself and you're trying to be quiet, fucking nightmare. So yeah, it's been Christmas for a long time, but it's catching up soon. And obviously we're leading up to Friday, Saturday. I'm looking forward to Christmas Eve.
So on the menu you've got ham and chips on Christmas evening. Yeah. Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve evening. Well, but it's Bird's bread. So, you know, if anyone's ever seen Bird's the Bakers, they're the shiny...
My granddad loves a Bird's pork pie.
They are the finest, honestly.
My mum still buys one for the Christmas table because that's what my granddad used to like at Christmas.
Yeah, I love that.
It's the jelly, though.
I'm all up on corned beef. Stace bought the wrong corned beef the other day without the jelly. That is a meat fit for kings, and there's no jelly on it. I was like, what is this?
Corned beef.
I'm going to have to mow through 10 slices of jellyless corned beef.
Corned beef.
It's filth.
Not sure whether to slice it or spread it.
Mate, I love it. I know it. And it is one of those filthy things, isn't it? It's what everyone's got like that bit of a vice.
It's like spam into it.
Scampy fries. Yeah, it's what you grow up on.
Fries.
Can you remember the lamb savouries at school? It was the shape of a lamb chop, but it was almost like the similar orangey brown colour of a fish cake. And it was basically, it was called a lamb savoury, but it was minced lamb, and it was in this breadcrumb. And you used to get one spoon of mint sauce. Please put it in the comments because I'm not that insane.
That sounds good though.
It was probably toxic, but it was delicious.
For sure it was.
It was delicious. It was absolute, and it was way before turkey Twizzlers or anything branded. Our school dinners were. They were all toxic, but we got through them, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, the cake was always good. The sponge cake with the icing, which was way more sponge than icing.
It's like 4 inches of cake with the thinnest.
And the custard was fucking good as well.
Yeah.
Although they never used to mix it properly, so you always used to crack into what you thought was something nice and cakey, and you'd break it, and it's like a bubble of powder.
Yeah. Well, you know they make.
Fucking stir this for a minute.
Just stir it for longer than a second. Get a blender in there, Brenda. But you know the chocolate and the strawberry custard.
Yeah,
is blancmange.
Is it?
It's blancmange, but made as a custard instead of a blancmange. I never knew that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, because there was what was the other one? Chocolate cracknel. Can you remember that? It was like a thin, like a chocolate square with like icing sugar on the top. I think it was an experiment that went fucking wrong. That someone's like, "Fuck them, just call it cracknel." They'll love it.
That doesn't sound like something that would
and
be
cornflake tart.
Cracknel.
Yeah, chocolate cracknel.
Imagine if you tried to name something like that on a kids' restaurant, kids' school dinner menu nowadays.
Imagine trying to.
What did you have for dinner today? I had some cracknel.
Yeah. But nowadays, you can't even say kids on a kids' menu. You'd have to refer to them as
young adults.
Small young'uns. Them little ones. Micro version. I don't know.
Okay, so ham and chips.
And the chips are Wiltshire potatoes as well.
Oh, I mean, this is very specific.
Well, honestly, dude.
Bird's bread.
Hunt's ham. So Hunt's is the deli across from us, which is delicious, but expensive. And I wish I could get this podcast out to my brother in time to let him know. Delicious is not 8 slices rolled up with one chip.
Oh,
you respect the fucking stack. So the chips they're a Wiltshire potato. Most people have Marfonas or Maris Piper or a mash. So you go for a Marfona or a Wiltshire. So I've got them imported. And then Stacey, genuinely, my dad has imported 2 bags from at least 3 hours away. So he had them sent over specially. And then we do a honey roast gammon.
Nice.
Mate, you know me and food.
Yeah.
I'm all about that food.
And then is there a specific dessert after that? Or just whatever?
No, because I never ate sweets. So because I was at Thornton's, I don't really bother about sweet stuff. So if I know that, let's say my volume is 100 and there's 70 for food and 30 for pudding, I'm giving you 120 for food, mate.
Is that
Fuck
right?
the pudding,
Yeah.
You got time for chocolate?
Just no pudding, no.
Yeah.
So then Christmas Day, what's your first thing you have? You have a proper breakfast on Christmas Day. I never have breakfast. No. I don't have breakfast generally.
I never
anyway,
have breakfast any time.
Yeah.
Unless it's bacon. And I'll probably have 4 cups of tea. Just while they're doing presents. Because some stuff they want you involved in and they're going mad on unwrapping stuff. And then other bits, they're just in their own little world. So so I'm just constantly, I'm boring. I'm just that boring, cantankerous old bastard that's just picking paper up. So they're going mad. And I'm like, what? I'll put it in the bag.
Because do you know what they're getting as well?
Yeah. I'm not one of them dads that, like my dad, I would say, oh, thanks. And he'd be like, what for? Do you know what I mean? My dad was involved.
Santa brought it.
Yeah. He was involved with the cool shit. So if there was a Game Boy,
right,
he'd already finished, no shit. I'm more proud of my dad than anyone in the world. He's my hero. But he got Tetris in the original white Game Boy and he finished level 10 on, it was 10 on 10. You know when you set the rocket off and you start and the whole screen is Swiss cheese?
Yeah.
Yeah, he finished that. So, but literally I opened it, turned it on and he was like, pass it here, let me show you this. And I was like, Dad. I I've got a little computer in my hands. And he's like, yeah, I know. I've finished everything. So I know what they're getting. But because they're spoiled, and I don't mean spoiled as in like Adam Sandler's Kids on Grown Ups where they drink Voss water. But when we were kids, there was a main. And it was either, I don't know, a bike.
Yeah.
Or a Mega
set.
Drive or a big Lego set or something that you would get that you know you're leaving that present till the fucking last.
Yeah.
Because that's the one, right? So we'd get that. But now every movie, so there's no DVD, no CD sales anymore because everything's on Netflix, Disney, Amazon or whatever. So you don't need any of them. So that takes out that our aunties and uncles, instead of having to buy 3 presents for me and my siblings and my mum buying them presents, they'd get Cool Runnings on VHS and we'd get Free Willy or whatever the fuck it was. So it worked out well because then you'd make a point of watching that movie.
Yeah.
Whereas now, they've got a phone because they need a phone. Then they've got headphones because you sit in a car with 2 kids listening to 2 different fucking YouTube or Netflix channels. And I'm not saying I want to kill them, but you kind of want to kill them. So that's that. I've obviously got my PlayStation and everything ever before that. So if they ever want video games, I've already got it. I've already got Lego. And then the bikes, we got on my bikes a couple of years ago. So Moo was literally saying, I think I want a mini fridge. I was like, fucking hell. How do we jazz that up? But so she's asking for a mini fridge and Libby's just obsessed with Jurassic Park and Adventure Time and drawing. So
they're good obsessions to have.
Yeah, it's wicked.
Yeah.
It is good. And obviously now she's got good at Call of Duty. I'm going to have to, I think I might just get a profile on my old Xbox and let her rank me up on that one. Because it's like you just put it in her hands and just leave her to it and off she goes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I haven't tried the new one yet. I've been completing, what's it called? Ghost of Tsushima.
How's that?
The samurai one. It's fucking really good. Gets a little bit repetitive, but then there's so much you can do in the battles that, you know, like these, because it's a story of the Mongols taking over a northern island of Japan, and then getting ready to invade the rest of Japan.
Oh, okay.
And it's like these shogun and these samurai that are in the north of Japan have got to deal with it, and they're fucking doing a terrible job. The Mongols are all over the place. They've taken over all the forts and they've ransacked all the villages and stuff. And you ride around. It's one of those where you can, like, you know, you can change your outfit, your hat and your mask and all that kind of shit. You've also got different weapons that you can choose. So as you go through the map, you collect swords. And
is it free world?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but there are missions, but there are places that you can go. So there are fox dens where there'll be a fox and you'll have to chase the fox to a shrine and then worship the shrine, and you get charms for your swords which upgrade your ability to do damage. And
oh shit!
It's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, I've been playing it. I mean, I don't play much, but when I get into something, I'll play it for a good few hours.
I've seen you on a couple of times, and I'm like, I'm leaving him well alone.
I've been playing that. I can play that Sid Meier's Civilizations all the time.
David's all about that.
Fuck it, I don't know. I just fall into it, and it's like a complex game of chess.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, he said the same.
Not that chess is not complex, but it's, you know, there's just a lot more shit going on.
He just moans because if he plays that for a week, when we go on to Call of Duty, because it's such or a racing game, you know, because your fingers are naturally trained to do something, and then, you know, when all of a sudden the buttons are different, and you're like, someone's running towards you, and you go, frag grenade, and they're like, yeah, why are you doing that? It's like, I'm trying to build a building. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, just jumping up and down.
I was doing that, and a load of fucking Mongol crew running at me. And I forgot all the buttons, and I'm like, block, 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 jump, jump. I'm like, fuck.
Like you've just picked it up for the first time. Here, Mum, do you want to play Street Fighter?
Yeah.
So what traditions did you have? What did you have as a kid? Because obviously we grew up at a very similar time and got very similar things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had like a bit of a tradition, like as Christmas Eve, Boxing Day. Do you know what I mean? Like so Christmas Eve, our tradition, we always used to go to the Pantomime in Nottingham.
Oh, nice.
Because like there was like a group that was organised from the estate.
Yeah.
So, you know, a couple of like the in charge mums of the area. They organised all the families, so we get fucking, you know, 50 tickets to the Panto, and all the families buy in and get a coach, and we all go together.
Nice.
And it was cool because it was like it's like Christmas Eve. It's fucking very Christmassy. The panto. It's the last time they're doing the panto after 2 weeks on, and they're all smashed.
And he's on his way at this point.
And of course, he's
already
on his way.
You might see him while we're out.
Well, this is why you got to hustle back from the bus when you get off. When you get off it back on the estate, because you got to get home because you don't want to fucking
He's
bump
on his way,
into
man.
him. You know what I mean?
Plus, that's smart on the mum side of things, because what's it do? Tires them out.
Of course.
Pantomime, cinema.
Yeah, he's fucking there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, stop being ignorant.
But like, you know, even as I started to get older, even as I got into my teens, I'd still look forward to going because it was something we all did together. You know, I'd like look down the row and I'd see my grandma and granddad one way and grandma and granddad the other. Amazing. And cousins, and you know, and it was just a cool thing. But then, obviously, you know, things change and, you know, people get older and we stop getting on coaches to go and see pantomimes and stuff. But that was always a nice tradition. And I need to take V to see one because she's never seen a pantomime.
Oh, we took my sister-in-law, who's, like I say, from Chicago, and we're all like, oh my God, wait till you see it. And like, part of us was saying that, and the other part of us was like, just take it down. What's your expectation? Is it like a 5? You're looking at a 2.
It's not a West End musical.
No, this is above and beyond, like a backyard, just because they wanted to act and they had Tuesday night free, they've done this. Yeah. So just give them a bit
as well as the occasional, you know, like mid-level character off EastEnders or something.
Oh, yeah, we had Marlene from Only Fools and Horses.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I literally shouted out Marlene as loud as I could, just because I might have had a beer and it was an appropriate thing to do.
Well, you've got to get involved. I mean, you've got to banter.
Yeah, it's like you can't go to Rocky Horror and not dance and dress up, can you? Do you know what I mean? The people who are sat there going, if you'd like to sit down, I'm trying to watch this. It's not how it's done, is it?
I always remember going there and we get like, what were they fucking called? Fruit pastels or fruit gums?
But in a box.
In a box.
Fruit. So the fruit gums were in a yellow box.
Old to remember that. You don't remember that. They
and it had like a paper bag inside. It was like a really thick paper bag. Yeah.
Smarties as well. Yeah. Box of Smarties.
Yeah, but that was like
weird.
That was the theatre thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I'll have a box of Smarties, please. Yeah. If you don't mind. £7.
Yeah.
This is 1986. Go fuck yourself.
But yeah, I mean that was Christmas Eve, and then obviously Christmas Day was, you know, wake up.
Was it at yours?
A Christmas Day at my parents. Yeah. So then, like, we'd do presents in the morning, and it was usually like I was tripping over myself coming down the stairs to try and look in the living room door to see, you know. And then there'd be 2 stacks. There'd be mine and my sister's. And obviously, as you said, you know your main one. Yeah. I can lift that up and give it a little shake, and I'm like, yeah, that's broken. That's going to need fixing.
Yeah.
That's the same joke every year. Pair of socks, Dad. Is it a pair of socks?
Football. I'll blow it up.
But, I mean, pretty much half of them were always Lego anyway. Yeah. And I always got great books. Good DVDs. I didn't have a games console.
Ever?
I didn't have a games console until probably an N64.
Oh, really? So what's that, 97?
Yeah, it was a while. My mates had them, so I played a decent amount when I was at my mate's house, but I just never had one. I had a lot of music. I got a lot of CDs.
See, I hit music a lot harder when I was older. So that's when I left home, or when I started college, that was when I started noticing Biggie, Tupac, greatest rap album, because my music was always Atlantic Soul classics, because that's what my dad listened to when he used to pick us up. So Billy Ocean, Maxi Priest, Eddie Grant, old soul, a load of old stuff. And then I got into Oasis and the normal stuff, like, you know, off your Now albums and stuff. But then, because music was ruined for me when I was at Thornton's, just because, and I know I've said before, between 5 and half 10, it was a radio station called Ram FM. And they would play the same 5 songs over. Like, literally, I almost had to go to counselling because of Natalie Imbruglia's Torn and Men in Black, the Will Smith song.
Was this the Alanis Morissette time as well? Was everything ironic?
It's just, and it was just constantly on. So I sort of avoided music other than something that wasn't going to be on the radio because I'd have a Walkman. So I'd be able to, when I was on my moped, I'd have my Walkman on, which might have been illegal, but you're not going to prove it, are you?
Cassette tapes.
Yeah.
And
it didn't have.
I used to love having a cassette player.
It didn't have a rewind on my Walkman. It only had a fast forward, so you'd have to turn it over.
Of course.
Or put a pencil on it.
Oh, mate.
I'm just going to track 2.
But it's got to be a proper pencil. You can't have a round pencil.
No.
Pass me a pencil. No, that's a fucking round
one. I want to rewind
one.
my tape. You moron.
Dickhead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I used to love... I've got a box of cassette tapes.
I have.
I need to get them out.
Yeah.
We need a tape player.
I've got a cassette player in my shed. My
course you
stereo.
have.
Well, Stace bought
Course
it
you
me.
have.
Mate, it's Panasonic. And she bought that. We got together in 98. She bought me that in
hang on.
99.
Did you draw a line around it?
Yeah. She doesn't touch it. It cost her £400. You know when you still had Curry's?
Yeah.
And Dixon's and not Tandy. Tandy's a bit old. But
Tandy
Curry's,
is
Comet,
old.
Dixon's, all that shit.
Yeah.
And there was like 15 stereos lined up. And they all, like, the speakers
Yeah.
couldn't get any bigger.
Yeah. A hi-fi system.
Yeah. And then
with two speakers either side.
Yeah. And then
Fucking- and a record player on top.
yeah, with a 10-disc changer.
Oh, mate.
Which seems like a good idea. That's where it fell down for me. At night, I'm trying to play that, and it's like,
still love that.
I'm like, hold on, the drawer, the discs. Where are the disc cases? Just there. Where are all the discs? In there. What's in disc 10? Who the fuck knows? Let's check. Oh, that's ZZ Top. No, don't want that. And all my discs were never legit discs. They were compilations of random shit that I downloaded. So it might be Tenacious D, and then, I don't know, Def Leppard, Meatloaf, Biggie. And so all of my music was just a jumble of shit depending on what was in the car.
Yeah.
And because I had stupid mates, you know when CD players first came out in cars and like you'd get, let's say 100 quid, like 100 quid stereo that you could pop the front off.
Take the front with you.
You had to. My mate didn't. He used to put it in the
Brilliant.
fucking glove box. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, taking it off. Like, no, because...
Mate, that's how my first iPod got stolen.
Yeah.
Parked outside
Always take it
Bushido
with you.
Gym. Parked outside Bushido Gym, and I'd gone to watch Nottingham Panthers.
Someone did
had
it.
just fucking...
Yeah.
My old, massive,
The
fucking
white
white
one.
brick iPod.
That came in a big box with a charger and a docking station and headphones.
I loved it.
Came with everything.
I loved it.
Well, my mate made me a disc because he knew that I was going somewhere with my mum and I was taking her in the car. And every track name that he'd renamed to Fuck You and Shit Lips and Thundercunt and all. So my mum sat there and she's like, what's this? And I'm like, just Stevie Wonder. She's like, well, what's that say there? And I don't know how to turn that off. So I'm trying to drive and not let her see. So yeah, so we had a lot of like crap music bits. But now my music is probably overtaken everything else. But yeah, the presents, I think for me, it's a weird one because you do compare. Because there was me and my sister at my mum's, and we had a half brother Will. Because obviously, so same mum, different dad.
Top or bottom half?
The top. So he's got a similar face, but he's not filled out as much. But he'd always have way more
Right.
because obviously he was a bit younger than us, so they always get a bit more. But I ruined a Christmas for myself because I went looking for presents, and I found them, which I've since then. You could, as I said to Stace before, you could put all of my presents. I would never look because I like the surprise because someone's put the effort in. But the worst one was the year that I asked my mum for a lava lamp, and I know I've said this before, but it's relevant because it's Christmas. I'd asked her for a lava lamp. Didn't think it was a lot. Didn't think I was asking for much. Didn't think I was like going out there and asking for, I don't know, moon shoes. So off we went, and she did the whole, can I get you one? To which I was like, nice one, you've never let me down before. Rock on, Tommy. So off we went, gets up in the morning, I get my armchair. Brother's got his settee, fuck him. And my sister's got whatever she asked for, which was probably money. So I'm going through everything, and there's a lava lamp shaped box that I'd left. And I was like, I cannot wait to open this motherfucker. So I literally gone through everything else because I wasn't a big fan of soft presents as a kid. Not good for my business now because if you like soft presents, buy some more gear because they're soft and they're nice. But as a kid, I didn't want to get soft stuff because you need to clothe me, Mum. You can't be cheaping out and be like, here, this is for Christmas. So I left this box and I got all the way to the end and then I ripped it back with great gusto and it was a foot pump. And even at that point, my brain was like, maybe she's fucking with you. Open it up. So I was still giddy, open it up, and it was a foot pump, which I've still got, but it was not the point.
But on the bright side, your lava lamp would have probably broken by this point.
I have had a couple since, and they haven't outlasted the foot pump. But it's not good to justify the cruelness of what she did.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, that stayed with you, hasn't it? That
it scarred me.
Yeah.
It really did. Because the thing is now, it's like even with the kids, because we was a bit older, we were saying to her the other day, well, you've only got 5 things because you're not telling us what you want. And she started off laughing like, oh yeah, a nice one. And she's like, yeah, but Mum, it's more. Is it more than 5? I'm not. Why do you want more than 5? I thought it was all about giving. I thought you just like cared about the season. She was like, no, I do. I would like some other stuff. And like trying to catch yourself, not be an arsehole. And obviously we've got more than 5 things. You've got like 6.5, 7. But it was funny just to see her trying to navigate this, me being a bit of a shithead.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've had good surprises. Stace once surprised me with a Scare Electric when I think I was 32.
That's a good one.
And I didn't know. And it was like, we do my Christmas Eve at ours. Christmas Day is either at Stacey's mum's or at ours because she works like at a care home, so it was always tricky. And Boxing Day is always at my dad's. And we'd gone through Christmas. And I'm not saying that I was disappointed with my haul, but it felt light. And I don't mean like a lot light. It was like monetary. So me and Stacey used to spend, I don't know, let's say 300 quid on each other. It felt like I'd had probably 50 quid. And as much as I was grateful and happy and everything was fine, I was like, something's fucking missing. Went the whole of Christmas, nothing. Boxing Day, did presents with my family on my dad's side, did all that, that was wicked. Still nothing. Past dinner, nothing. And then all of a sudden, I can't remember what was happening, and I'd kind of given up because I wasn't even thinking about anything. So it surprised me even more, and she pulled this massive box out, and it was the Valentino Rossi motorbike Scare Electric.
And she'd held out through Christmas Day and half of
Honestly,
Boxing Day.
She nearly burst when
That's
she gave it
fucking
me.
gangster.
Yeah, it was fucking
That's
wicked.
really impressive.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to give people gifts like fucking as soon as I bought them. I'm terrible at holding stuff.
I hate it.
But like, I'm either really good at buying gifts, which is very occasional, or really terrible, which is almost all the time. So usually if I find something I'm like, that's a good gift, I'll get it, and then like 2 weeks before
you get it.
know.
Well, that's why when
Yeah.
you gave me the Nixon Star Wars watch, there was almost as much excitement. The thing came for you. It's like it's not Christmas or my birthday. It's like, yeah, I know, but it's going to fit one of them, so just take it. But it's good.
Yeah,
it's good. Well,
Have you got any Christmas presents that you got when you were a kid that you've still got now?
Probably all of them.
Really?
Yeah, probably all of them. I mean, especially toys. Other than my auntie Sharon fucking me over, which I know I told you about before, which when she took all of my Star Wars, Action Man and everything for a tenner and then sold them.
Unreal.
Motherfucker. So the thing was...
A disowner.
Yeah, well, it kind of broke me because I got more into toys after playing with toys because I realised what I'd lost. And 16, 17, around the markets in Derby, like you could pick up all the old Star Wars figures for 50p each. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like there was a lot that I could sort of get back. So I still got my original Game Boy. I've got one called a Barcode Battler. Did you ever see that?
Dude, I remember Barcode Battler.
It was wank. It was
What
the
the fuck?
worst thing. So it was
I have not thought about that since I cast it into a drawer and never looked at it again.
Nah. Did you have one?
Yeah.
Horrible. So it came out at the same time, a year or two after Game Boy, Game Gear, and Atari Lynx. So they were the big three. The Atari Lynx died because it was too big and the cartridges had no protection over the gold line.
So they just fucked up and scratched
Yeah,
and
they got
shit.
touched.
Yeah.
Whereas the Game Gear was good because it had colour screen, and a power supply, but the games there wasn't as many. Whereas
Yeah.
the Game Boy was tiny and it just took off.
And you could connect it to somebody else.
Exactly, you had the link cable. Whereas the Barcode Battler, the genius motherfuckers behind it. So it was a similar size and shape between the Lynx and the Game Gear. And basically it was like a card game. So it's a bit like Top Trumps.
Yeah.
But you had barcodes. So if it was a beast, you'd be like, boop. But the interesting thing was, depending on what other barcode you used, if you had a box of cornflakes or a tin of beans or whatever the fuck it was, you could beep it in and it would give you a credit for something. And the novelty of that wore off in about 25 seconds. And that's still somewhere. I didn't ever rate that. But it was bad because...
There it is. Look at that.
See?
Fucking hell.
Barcode
Battler.
I could have described it to you exactly as it was with the
Yeah.
blue oval buttons and the weird swipey thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the bikes are still in the shed. I mean, when I was riding trials, a lot of my stuff was like protective gear or a new helmet or whatever. So I've still got all that stuff. I don't like getting rid of stuff. I'm a bit of a hoarder,
Yeah.
but I don't think I've got rid of a lot of stuff. I mean, Stace once, she surprised me as well with a PlayStation 2. She didn't hold out anywhere near as long as that, but that was between my phases of buying games and stuff and not really being bothered. Because once you get introduced to boobs and having a girlfriend, you just got more shit on your mind. Do you know what I mean? It's like, do you want to play Metal Gear Solid or do you want to have a look at these? It's like, boobs win every time, every single time. But then when I think she got bored of me, like being obsessed with boobs, she wanted to distract me with a game. So she bought me a PlayStation 2. So yeah, her reasoning was at the time, a PlayStation 2 would play DVDs as well. And we needed a DVD player. So she was like, bought you a DVD player. Good. And I was like, I've already got one. And she's like, yeah, but this one plays games. I was like, motherfucker.
Nice.
So that was good. Yeah. So I've got a lot of really good memories of being. She's always gone above and beyond and out of her way. I was just telling you I got it. She screwed me this year. We both agreed not to buy each other anything. And I've just seen like half a dozen things that arrive for me. Oh. And I'm on Billy backup. I'm going to be like friends going to the fucking petrol station like lemon lime soda and a fucking wiper blade. Because she won't want, as much as she respects and loves Full Reptile.
She'd love a wiper blade, though.
A wiper blade and an esoteric hoodie.
Yeah. If you could find her one of them traffic light air fresheners.
Mate, if she can hit me with it, she
there
would.
You go.
I'd rather be hit with a closed fist from her than a fucking wiper blade and a smelly air freshener. Do you remember them air fresheners in the 80s? My granddad had one, and it had like a little... It looked like half of the crystal from the Crystal Maze.
Yeah.
It was like a round ball, but it had perfume in it.
Yeah.
And it had a pin that pierced the air freshener. And you know when your granddad said over and over again, don't touch that, don't touch that, don't touch that. You know when you did, you couldn't get that stuff off.
Can't get it off you.
He said it for good reason.
Fucking forever.
Listen to your granddad, kids.
There was the ones that that you could slide down.
Yeah.
And they'd reveal a bit more of the centered card.
Yeah.
I remember them.
Oh, and my granddad's car smelt like...
I fucking hate all those kind of things. I can't. They get stuck in the end of my nose.
Yeah. That was the air freshener, John Player special cigarettes, because my grandma, bless her, she would smoke straights in the car, and you'd be like, can you wind the window down, mama? And she's like, yeah. And she'd go, literally that much. And it was like this. The smoke was clamoring to get out. Do you know what I mean? But because...
Can you imagine what that looked like from the outside?
Yeah, just a
stream of smoke.
Really thin. It looked like the guy of Sopranos, you know, with the grey sidehawks. Yeah. That was my granddad's car. But because he ran like an allotment, it was a massive allotment, so he'd always have plants all bagged up and veg and fruit. So the smell in that, I can still smell it now, and it's kind of homely. But it's also probably one of the most toxic environments I've ever been in. That would, if you were confined to that, like David Blaine, you'd probably last about 4 hours.
That's David Blaine's next trick.
Yeah, sitting in Owen's granddad's car.
There you go.
Yeah. An old Peugeot 405.
Pinned up against the window.
Just with someone chain smoking John Players that someone got out of a time capsule.
At my primary school used to be down the River Trent from Players' factory.
Oh, really?
And at certain times... Every day around lunchtime, you got this really, really strong smell of like tobacco drifting down the Trent, and I always used to remember it because I always used to really like it.
Yeah,
like it's just such a sweet kind of.
It's like raisins.
Yeah. I go stand at the school gate and you could just smell it coming down the River Trent. You're like,
it's not.
Good. I can't wait to eat some of that when I'm older and I'm allowed to.
I'm gonna have some of that.
You burn it? Oh no, that's weird. That's
When did you first have a cigarette? What was the first time you smoked, or first thing you smoked?
It was a cigarette. And I was at school.
Hold on, it's your mum's birthday today. As much as we're going to wish her a happy birthday, does she know this? Because I know it'll break her heart.
Probably not. No, okay. She's fine. She
just
knows
turn off for a bit, Elaine. We're talking about elves again.
I never got into cigarettes at all. I remember one day I smoked 3, and that was because my friend Leon wanted some, and he didn't have any money.
Yeah.
So I bought them and we shared the packet.
If I'm buying them,
I had 3. By the time, because it was like, I don't know, we were skipping off school, I think. So I was like sitting on the curb around the corner from the school gate. And I'm just like, this is fucking horrible. I couldn't get my head around why anyone would do it. So I smoked 3 cigarettes that day.
If only someone was there to give you a beer at the same time.
Yeah.
It tastes bad, but wait till you mix it with this.
I'd probably drank beer before that, to be honest. Because I mean, I was in and around pubs all the time. So I'd the smell of smoke I was familiar with. But like to actually inhale from it, that was a different thing. It was just a very unpleasant experience. So, but like that day I was like, no, I mean, I fucking spent the money on these things. I better get my money's worth. I'm having at least 3.
Yeah.
And I remember having taekwondo training that evening. I just felt sick and I could smell it on myself. Yeah. And I was like, no, this don't suit me.
And you're also nervous because someone's going to smell that and you'll be like,
Yeah.
Where have you been? I was talking to someone and they smoked vigorously.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but it's a different. I don't know. It never really interested me. And then the next time I was at Rock City, and someone had a packet of purple cigarettes.
Oh, you got to try a purple one.
So I tried a purple cigarette, and it
Same difference.
It wasn't any better. Wasn't any better.
No thanks.
Yeah. And that's why I never really got into smoking weed, because everyone rolled it with tobacco.
Exactly.
So I was like, no, it's not. Don't like it.
See,
I'll just drink 14 pints.
Yeah, I'll have
instead.
14 pints. Fuck the lot of you. You look really happy though. But my experience with weed was a lot different to what it is now, and it's the same with cigarettes. Like, there's a guy who lived up the road from me. He's passed away recently, actually, and he's not much older than me, which is always a bit of a weird one. And he was like, "Do you want to try a cigarette? I've stolen one off my dad." And his dad was notorious for being a fucking psycho. So I was like, yeah. So off we went, and he lifted up this breeze block, and he'd hidden 3 cigarettes under it, so they were flat.
Oh no!
And it was the weirdest experience, because he was older than me, so I was obviously cooler, and he was as much as he was smoking it, he was trying to coach me. No, you need to take it down. You're not taking it down. I'm like, what do I do? And because it wasn't like a cigarette, it was this flat, weird fucking tube. I was like, oh, and then. So that didn't really go anywhere and was a bit shit. And I was more nervous about going home with my mum smelling it. But my stepdad smoked at the time, so it wasn't as bad. Then there was a lad at my dad's house who was a proper rough piece of shit. Because I couldn't be picky with friends at my dad's, because I was only there every other weekend.
Right.
So it's not like I could let people down. So this one lad, Donald, his name was, me and this other lad went out, and he found some cigarettes. Like, the first actual bought, fully formed cigarette I ever had was when I was like 29. But before then, it was always just some shit that someone had thrown away. So we tried that, and I'll never forget, we'd done it, and all of us got really nervous because we all smelt. So one lad was at the side of so where American Adventure was, there's Shipley Park, and there's like this big, horrible lake. He got his hands on the side of the bank, shoved his whole head in the pond just to try and wash himself. And I was like, I'm definitely hanging out with the wrong fucking people. Like, he's fully dunked his own head. And at which point, a bloke who was fishing on the side of the bank was like, "Hey up, get out that fucking water, or I'm telling the father," right? And this kid who he was with...
Sound like Dean Truman.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, he knew at this point. And then this kid who was with us, that was like Donald's friend or little brother or whatever, he looked up, and he must have been, if he was 11, he says, "You wouldn't know my feather if he dropped out your arse." And I was like, what's happening? This is all because of smoking. So I knocked it on the head for a bit. But then it was my other mate, he started listening to rap music and listening about all weed and all this stuff. So he says, "I haven't got any weed, but I've got some tobacco. If we've got something to roll it in, we can have a cigarette while my mum's at work." And I was like, let's try again. And he used a Kit Kat wrapper.
Oh no.
And
oh no.
I don't know if you've ever tried to inhale something before it's burnt all the way. I could taste it now.
Oh,
I can feel it in my throat. But it literally just went... We coughed like fuck, and the tobacco went everywhere. His mum got back, hit the fucking roof, because it wasn't even the fact that we'd been smoking. It's that or someone that we'd made up had come over, had sprinkled tobacco in a clean kitchen.
Oh dear.
So that was bad. And then because of that, like you say, everyone just started smoking weed, but it was always resin.
Yeah. And
because of what happened to my jumper, I got more frustrated, because this cost me 65 quid. I've done that once, and this is gone. And not only is it gone, it was bought for me by my dad, so he's going to want to see it again. When he sees a hole in it, because he's teetotal and he's against all that shit, he'd be fucking fuming. So it kind of scared me. And people, because they were doing like buckets and stuff like that, a bucket bong, I'm only small.
Yeah.
I need a sip. I need just to take things steady. I don't want to jump in feet first, thanks. Because my little body ain't used to this. I've tried smoking 3 times, and I've ended up one psychopath dunking himself and fucking inhaling toxic fucking Kit Kat wrappers. So it kind of went a bit sideways until I realised that you can manage your own destiny.
Yeah.
And just put weed in a Rizzler way back. So
that was a weird tradition that kind of stopped happening as well. So like going back to Christmas. So on Christmas Day evening, we'd go to my Auntie Bet and Uncle Ken's house, and Uncle Ken was my granddad Derek's older brother.
Yeah.
And he used to just sit in the kitchen of his house and smoke. So you'd walk in the back door, because no one uses their front doors in England for whatever reason.
Nope.
You walk in the kitchen door.
Curtain across it.
Yeah, all the time. And I'd walk straight through the kitchen, and they'd both be sitting there having a cigarette and a can. But then on once a year, my grandma used to have a cigarette as well.
Yeah.
Just weird, just like, oh, no, it's Christmas Day, I'll have a Christmas Day cigarette.
Yeah.
Just seems like an odd thing to do just one time a year.
It's really strange. As an ex-smoker, and I say ex-smoker as far as straights.
Yeah.
I used to smoke roll-ups, and I smoked from when I went to college. The reason I started smoking was because Sonny, which was a Chinese guy, taught me how to roll. So you know how fast I roll?
Yeah.
I'm not going to do an impression because that'd be racist. So he taught me how to roll, and I used to roll them for him, and he would then like mark them out of 10. So when I started getting 9s and 10s, I was thinking, what's the difference? I can't feel a difference, can't tell a difference. What's the difference? And so I wanted to try it, and that's when I started smoking. So for me, I've always loved smoking. Always. I've never felt bad for it. I've never not been able to run or do anything. My in-law grandparents lived in Spain, so I've always got a contact for anything. Nice. So I've never paid. So like when people go, I stopped smoking 4 hours ago and I have saved £9,000. It's like, fucking nice one, Ryan. So because that never happened to me, it was never an issue. But it was New Year's Eve, and it was 2000, and Moo was born in 2008. So it's New Year's Eve 2007. I've been smoking since probably 97, 98. So I went into the kitchen and I made an agreement with my cousin. We're not going to have any more, because they said, if you want to try for a baby, you can't smoke, because we don't like babies smelling of fags and all this. And I was like, yeah, I get that. That's absolutely cigarettes for
we don't
overseas.
want that.
Yeah, because my
We
niece,
want cigarette babies.
Yeah, because my niece never had that baby smell, because my sister and my brother-in-law smoked at the time, so they were always a bit like, oh, ashtray baby. You can go. And she was ginger, so it was one of them. I love her to bits. She'll know. So it was. I went in and I quietly had my last cigarette, put it out. Never said anything to anyone. And even though, I've got stories for days about what happened after that, but ever since then, even watching a film, I'd sit there and think, I'd be having a cigarette if I was in now. You know, like,
really,
like
yeah,
if he was
still.
walking to his car, because it's kind of in. Once it's in, it's in. And Stacey's mum does it. Jane will have a cheeky cigarette. And the kids know, very similar to yours, you thought no less of your auntie, because it's just that tradition. Like,
Yeah.
all right, fair enough. Like if you walked in the middle of Easter and you're like, whoa, is that a Benson and Hedges?
Yeah.
It might be.
Yeah.
Don't tell anyone, Dan. But because it's Christmas, it's fine.
Yeah.
So I've always been able to justify that. So when I have a drink, I'll have a cigarette with a drink.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have a joint. So and that's where it's kind of comes from. So it's really difficult to explain, but I can say I've stopped.
Yeah.
But if I've got a good reason for one, I'll have a cigarette.
Yeah. Like it's Thursday.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not like, some people will wake up in the morning and literally on the edge of the bed, they're like,
Yeah.
I've got to have my first fag. And it's like, no.
Yeah, my grandparents used to be like that.
Yeah, mine were. And it was very much that it doesn't matter where they are, what they were doing, doesn't matter who's around. In a caravan that you're sharing with 19 people, in a car, anything, they are going to...
In a lift in Vegas.
Shout out to Mystery. In a
He's
restaurant.
currently recording a podcast right now with Jimmy and Josh.
Oh, is he?
Which will be carnage.
He'll definitely not be talking about smoking in a lift in Vegas, which was just seeing your face and the range of emotion go through what you were doing. I was thinking the same thing. We then both had to put on our dad and granddad hats to look at it and say, and we didn't really need to even say anything, but it was like, should I have not done that? It's like, and I know we don't need to discuss this anymore. Bless him. So it's weird. It is weird, but I can imagine a lot of people do it. But I mean, some people like they'll look at weed as a gateway. I don't always think it is that. I think it's sometimes circumstance. It's not necessarily the gateway if it's alcohol or if it's weed or if it's whatever it is. Because for me,
Shitty lives is a gateway for drugs.
Big time. Big time. Just
That's
an
what
escape.
it is, really.
Like,
Yeah, that's it. It's the same with alcoholism, isn't it?
yeah, but it's the same as like video games or just something that makes you feel a bit better. Like for me at the minute, especially with Christmas, I've been massively struggling because Stacey's been busy. So because she's been really busy and she's my best friend and she's my support and she's my everything, I haven't had as much patience with her because I've been frustrated and she's not had as much patience with me. So if you'd have asked her any of the questions I'd asked her, it would have been fine. And if I'd have asked V, it's that sort of thing. But because you've not got that kind of support all the time, what I've found is when I go online on a Friday night with one of my mates, as much as they're only there to get stoned and have a game and love it and have a bit of a laugh, they give me their full attention.
Yeah.
And I give them my full attention. So I think...
And a full clip.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'll just let them know how many times I've killed them and rub it in. But because you're ribbing on someone, it's even better.
Yeah.
But I think the difference with like how things start and where it takes you, it's different for everyone. Because I've never touched any other drug. I've never touched anything. Like people have offered me stuff, and it's never really interested me because I like to have a cheeky joint. And it is a cheeky joint, isn't it? It always will be. Like,
Always.
it could be in the middle of the fucking in Buckingham Palace. It could be a massive cognac, cheeky joint. But I think sometimes that's all you need. And I'm not that bothered about drinking, but I do like because it kind of ticks the box of smoking, but it's also makes everything happy. That's wicked for me.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I don't mind a rum at these days.
Ooh.
It's been a while since, 22 years I didn't drink for. But then I don't know, I spent about 12 or 18 months every now and then, like you were talking about, you see someone on TV.
Yeah.
Every now and then just going, glass of wine would be nice.
Yeah.
I'd enjoy a glass of wine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you kind of, I'm like, and then I mentioned it to my mum last Christmas and she was like, well, you know, if you want one, just have one.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, maybe. And then it took me another 2 months still to get to the stage where I actually poured myself a little bit of wine in a glass. But I don't know, it's weird. It's like I try and trust my instinct a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just kind of, all of a sudden, it was like, yeah, I kind of, and I sat with it for like, because you think I've not drank for 22 years.
And it was a medal.
Yeah, I know.
You wear that as
I
a
love
medal
the
of
fact
honour.
that I didn't. But
Yeah.
then I'm like, yeah, I kind of just would like a glass of wine.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine drinking beer or anything like
No.
that. I was going to have a Guinness when we were in Dublin, but we never got round to it.
I'd have definitely done that.
Yeah. But I don't know. But I do like a little of rum.
Yeah. But
Maybe it's the pirate in me.
I
It
think
speaks to the pirate in me.
But I
we're
think-
going to go and see Outlaw Rum soon. They've sent me some
mate,
some
that stuff they've
delicious
sent
samples. Yeah.
smells insane. And
amazing.
the problem, everyone that I play PlayStation with is either family or really close friends, and they're all massive rum drinkers. So when I told them, they're like, oh, I definitely had their full attention then, and they wouldn't have cared if I could shut the
It is
fuckers.
gold. Yeah, they're up in Scotland. They're
Yeah.
up near the Cairngorms National Park.
I am looking forward to going.
So we're gonna go check
It
them
will
out.
be. It will be amazing. But I mean, I think most stuff, like if it's done right, it's like even because I know obviously you wore your is it sobriety or just the fact
mean,
you
I
were
guess, yeah.
teetotal. That was a medal because not only is it an achievement, it's an achievement with layers because of your discipline as far as fighting and all the rest of it, and what you've gone through as far as growing up in a normal kind of upbringing to then go, no, I'm going to be a world-class level and I'm going to train here and do this, which is fantastic. But you still need to be able to recognize it's all right to try this or try that. Like if I was to try be vegan for a month, it doesn't mean that I'm never going to do something again or I'm going to stop. And that's why I think some people kind of trip themselves up when they go so high and mighty.
Yeah.
And you're like, listen,
Yeah.
if you want that bit of fillet steak, it's already in the packet.
Yeah.
You're not going to have to slaughter it, and you might like the taste, and you might want it. So it's all right to have the bits, but I think sometimes when people, they like attach themselves to something so powerfully that they can never come back.
Yeah.
It happened with kids. I've got a mate, and he's probably going to listen to this. His name's Dan. I used to work with him at Egg, and he would sit and chirp at me about his niece, and my kids. Oh, why have you given him a dummy? I would never do that. Never do that. Ridiculous. Why would you ever do that? Why has he got an iPad? God, for a kid, ridiculous. Never, ever, ever, ever. He's now been blessed with twins and a kid.
Yeah.
So the oldest, Jackson.
iPads and dummies.
Exactly. And the thing is, I don't even have to say anything because it's like, I remember when you're exhausted, you need a little bit of sleep or a little bit of your time. Works well, doesn't it? But because he made such a big noise about it, it sticks in my brain that anytime I see it, I'm like, oh, the kid could be 15, 16, I don't know, 25, could be married. And I'd be like, oh, remember when you gave him an iPad? Because it was ingrained into me because I was a prick. And don't get me wrong, we still get on really well. He's a wicked guy. But it's one of them that the more passionate you are about something, it just seems to make everything worse.
Yeah, I remember there were quite a few people back in the day. I mean, straight edge was a real prominent movement, especially in the US. And I remember seeing people at hardcore gigs shit talking anyone standing at the bar, or like being aggressive with people standing at the bar because they're buying beers and stuff. Because it was a straight edge band, and all the people there were straight edge, and and the straight edge tattoo was 3 X's,
right?
Like, don't drink, don't smoke, no casual sex, no nothing. It was like,
which is also a good logo for all the other good stuff.
Great, exactly.
Porn, beer, wine, what the fuck?
But it was, I mean, it was like quite a popular movement, and a lot of people had it tattooed on their knuckles. And I remember 5-10 years passing and seeing a lot of those people with those tattoos on their knuckles holding a beer at some point in the future. And it's like, you kind of got to. You can identify yourself with whatever you want, but it's when you're trying to put that on other people is where it becomes difficult.
But I think that's the same with anything. It could be religion, it could be vaccines, anything. Because the thing is, like, it doesn't. As long as it doesn't affect me, like I've got close friends that are super religious, super religious, and it's like
not more religious than me though.
Slightly,
nah,
but only the extreme ones. The ones that are really crazy about superheroes.
Right.
Because I once offended them by referring to religion as superheroes.
Oh, mate, I upset the one at the church next door. And Karen, I'll tell you my story in a minute.
Well, it wasn't, I wasn't trying to be offensive, but essentially it's a story with no proof about a superhero.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't taking anything away from them. And I wasn't doing it in a flippant way that I was trying to be a prick. I was just trying to say, because Ricky Gervais says it well, and he says, how many gods do you believe in? I believe in one. Well, I believe in one less than you, and there's apparently 5 million gods. So we're okay. But people it's like they're worried for you, and you think, dude, I'm cool. Yeah. But it's like, I see people like Shawn Michaels, the wrestler, apparently was a piece of shit. Was an absolute piece of shit. Didn't spend any time with his kids, with his wife, or anything, and he found religion and now has a wicked relationship with them. But I think that could be replaced in any circumstance with taekwondo or kayaking or beach buggy or anything, but you just need to focus your attention. But religion works a lot. So I just find it, when people get preachy and tell you what you have to do, like, bro, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah. I made a joke the other week. I was chatting to one of the women that run the church next door, and I can't remember exactly what we were talking about, but I just kind of made a casual reincarnation joke. Like, I knew what I was doing because I wanted to check what her reaction was.
I'd had a wine.
Blood of Christ. And I was just like, oh yeah, no, I think what must have happened is that, when that person died, their soul left and jumped into someone else's body, and all of a sudden she went fucking real frosty, and she went, I don't think I believe in that. And I'm like, oh, all right, I didn't, just...
I wasn't making you.
Star Wars, check it out, you'll love it. You know what I mean? It's like...
But where's the
change
cut-off?
the subject.
Where's the cut-off?
I don't know, yeah.
I need some bread and I need some wine. 2 seconds. Reincarnation. Bullshit. Surely it's a miracle. No, we don't
Christmas
mess around
miracle.
with miracles. Yeah. So,
right. Well, we should wrap it there because it's my mum's birthday today.
It is. You need to get going.
I do.
And we've done nothing but talk shit about Christmas presents. I'm not even mentioning Sean
I feel
O'Malley.
I feel very much like we're set for Christmas now. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So what is it? It's not Christmas Eve tomorrow, is it? Day after.
It's Christmas Eve tomorrow.
Oh, the Eve.
You used to say that.
Eve, yeah.
Yeah, good. You used
Christmas
to say
Eve.
that. 5s. Everyone comment. We need to get 1,000 comments. Eve.
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. We'll do a giveaway.
Christmas Eve. Then it's Christmas Eve and your ham and chips. And then you're into Christmas Day.
I will send you a picture. The last year I sent your nan a picture of my chips.
Did you? Yeah.
She lost her shit. And I will share.
Chips for a good while.
I'm all about that, Jim.
Might have to get some today.
When I do them right.
Of course you do.
Yeah, man.
Import the potatoes.
That's it. Import the potatoes, import the ham. No fucking around. No COVID. Just chippies. Wicked.
All right.
Have a good one.
Happy
Nice one, bro.
Christmas, mate.
Take it easy, and you.
Happy Christmas, everybody. Have a good one. And a good New Year.
There you go.